About how do we correct things that were done wrong. Now let's take a look at what we're supposed to have. Optimum behavior. Anatomy. Where is the animal soul located? Everywhere. Where did it get light from? Shumi Klippus Noiga, it comes from Klippus Noiga, the animal soul. Your basic human energy. This is something that's common to every person, Jewish, non-Jewish. B'cholish Yisrael, who in the whole, every Jewish person, what do you mean every Jew? What about non-Jewish people? Yeah, it's possible to see from this that there's a difference between an animal soul of a Jew and an animal soul of a non-Jew. She nods knowingly. It's a new idea. What is the difference? We saw in chapter 1. All this is in chapter 1. That the soul, the animal soul of a Jewish person has a lot of holiness in it. Naturally kind, naturally merciful, naturally modest in behavior, in dress, in speech, in thinking. How should you ensure, parents want the best for their children. In order to ensure that the children that you will in Mitzvah Hashem will have a sensitive animal soul, a compassionate animal soul, a Yiddish animal soul. We're going to learn that a person should try to learn a lot of Torah and do a lot of good deeds and give a lot of tzedakah when they are participating in family life, so that their children will be endowed with sensitivity. What we call in Yiddish, Edelkeit. The word in Hebrew is adin, like Adin Steinsaltz. Adin means refined. There's a big difference between a coarse, low animal soul and a refined animal soul. What's the common denominator? The common denominator is they're still selfish. They're still selfish. A Jewish person from his animal soul can do a lot of mitzvahs naturally, easily, but still he does it because he likes it. It's pleasurable to him. He gets his ego gets excited by it. Whereas the ultimate is not to get an excited ego. The ultimate is to do a thing because Hashem wants you to do it. That's all. Not because of what you're going to get out of it. We don't give charity until it feels good. I say give charity until it hurts, and keep on giving until it feels good. We don't give charity because it feels good. We give charity because we do a mitzvah because Hashem wants us to. It's about making the world into a better place. It's not about us. Okay, so where is the animal soul in a Jewish person? Second paragraph, page 136. Good morning, Rivka. 136. Open your text, please. Page 136. B'cholo hasmoli, in the left side of the heart. Okay, once I had a nurse in this class who had a different view of the anatomy and how it works. I don't know how it works. I trust the Alter Rebbe was a genius in so many different things. He understood this too. And he got it from holy sources, which taught him that the left side of the heart is filled with blood. How exactly? I'm not sure. Is it the blood that's been used or the blood that's going to be pumped around? Because the blood is the source of the energy, as it says in the Torah, the blood is the soul. Ki hadam hu hanefesh. The soul of the person is the blood. It's in the blood. So when a person loses a lot of blood, that's it. That's it. They don't survive. You need, when a person is in an accident, what do? They give him transfusions. They give him more blood to restore his life because the blood contains the life. And you could ask a question, what if I'm getting blood from non-Jewish people, blood from people who did a lot of bad things? It's a good question. It's a good question. The energy you'll get, will it make you a more sensitive person? That's a good question. I can't answer. Lochein, therefore, bottom of page 136. Kol hataiva. So since the animal soul, even a Jewish person, is in the heart, in the left side of the heart, in the blood, in the left side of the heart. So therefore, all of the taivas, what are taivas? Who knows what taivas are? What is a taiva? Taiva is a lust. I lust. So for something, good morning, Yehudit. I must have it. People lust for all kinds of things. Some people lust for sweets, for cake. Some people lust for food, just eating is great pleasure to them. Some people lust to lie in the sun with no clothes, Some people lust for other things. A taiva is a lust. It says in the Mishnah there are three things that will drive a person from the world. One of them is lust. Another is jealousy. Another is honor, the desire for honor. I'm jealous of somebody else, what they have. I want what they have, or I lust. Addiction is a lust, a lusting. I lust for something. I must have it, and if I can't get it, I remember one time a person wanted to consult with me, wanted to have a heart-to-heart talk, and he told me that he was addicted. He was a millionaire. He was addicted to cocaine, a drug. And he was separated from his wife. He had children, and it was his day to take care of the children. And his child was taking care of his child, preventing him from being able to take some cocaine. And he found himself getting very angry and impatient with the child because the child was preventing him from fulfilling his lust, the satisfaction that the drug gave him. You would think that if he recognized that, it would give him a strong motivation to kick the habit. So, where does this lust come from? From the left side of the heart, from the blood in the left side of the heart. Lust, and he quotes other not nice character traits. Taivas is lust, things you lust for. Hispyros is bragging about yourself, self-centeredness. Okay, that's from the element of fire, right? Kas, together with that, the flip side of hispyros, which is bragging, is anger. You get angry when someone does not cater to your ego, or you feel threatened by them, that they're going to prevent you from getting the things that you want in life. V'doi mehen and other similar negative characteristics, hein belev, they're all in the left side of the heart. Page 137. Umihalev, and since just like the heart sends blood to every part of your body, so from your heart, these feelings spread out so that you express these feelings with your, what they call, body language. Unconsciously, you express it in the way you move, in the way you look, in the expressions on your face, the way you shake your head. Sometimes people, you notice, they shake their head a little bit when they answer a question as if they're apologizing a little bit, indicating that they're somewhat insecure. Are people going to listen to them? Are they going to honor them? Are they going to respect them? So make a little apologetic movement with their head. These are all, or you squint with your eyes, or you look away. If you don't like a person, he asks a question, you're embarrassed by it, you might answer looking away. Okay, from the heart. So as your heart, you're in the movements with your hands, of course. You ever notice? Look at the video of it for bringing. You never see the Rebbe's hands. He keeps them under the table, out of sight. Jewish people talk very much with their hands. Keeps his hands under the table. One time at a Farbrengen, they didn't have the boards up in front of the table, and I was standing very close, right there, because it was a summertime and so many people were in the country, so I was able to stand there, and I saw what goes on under the table. And while the Rebbe sits and talks very calmly, his hands are in action the whole time, and he's learning and carving out ideas with his hands as he makes a point. Constantly, very vigorously, and very pointedly, meaningfully. It was amazing. Okay, so from the heart, these feelings spread throughout your body, and they express themselves in the limbs of your body, the way you walk, the way you move, the way you get excited, the way you jump, the way you lie down, and most of all, in the expressions on your face. Second paragraph. And not only does the blood go to all the organs in your body and take with it the feelings that you are feeling in your heart, but also these feelings go to your brain, your blood. You have to have blood with carrying oxygen to your brain the whole time. Otherwise, the brain will die. And this leads a person to think about the things that he lusts for, and the things that annoy him, and the things that he or she is angry about, are the things, and to plan, to meditate, and to think how they can achieve what they want. Maybe it's how are they going to get around? They're committed to keeping a diet. But really, they really want to eat the things that they don't want to eat. They don't want to gain weight, but they're committed to. But they can't help themselves, and they rationalize and think of ways that they can get around their commitment to their diet and still be able to indulge in their desires, and to meditate about these feelings, this self-gratification feelings that they're having, whether it's in the realm of water, which is pleasure, or air, which is talking, or earth, which is sleeping, resting. How can I say that? Okay. Ukamei shahadam makari balev. In the same way, there's in the third paragraph now, the same way that your blood is sourced in your heart, in the left side of the heart, umei halev mispashet, and from your heart it spreads out l'kol ha'evrim, to all of the limbs, and goes up to the brain. Yeah. Mokoim. Okay, so that's the left side of the heart. Moka Mishkan Nefesh Halakis. What's in the right side of the heart? That's the abode of the godly. That's where the godly soul likes to be. Now, the godly soul initially finds its place in the brain. The brain is the welcome center for the godly soul. But from the brain, we're going to see it spreads down the spinal cord at the speed of light. Who knows how fast is the speed of light? Fast. How fast is it?
Very fast.
Very fast. Well, the sun is 93 million miles away. That's what they tell us. Do you believe it? Do I have a choice? And it takes about 10 minutes for sun's light to get to the earth. So we're seeing light that was generated 10 minutes ago. I don't know how fast it is. I think it's 365,000 miles a minute or something like that. You could look it up, you Google it up. What is the speed of light? Electricity travels at the speed of light, and your brain waves travel at the speed of light. So all these thoughts that you're having about how you can achieve your desires spread at the speed of light, that is to say, instantaneously to your heart. If these are good thoughts and good feelings from the godly soul, they go from the brain accepts them. And then they go from the brain to the heart, down the spinal cord. I think that's the actual anatomy of how it works. They go down the spinal cord into the right side of the heart. And the right side of the heart receives them. So that here's the setup. That we have two warring opponents, two camps. The left side of the heart, which is the camp of selfishness, of the animal soul, and the right side of the heart is the camp of the godly soul, where it finds a comfortable place to be. And they are fighting it out the whole time. Who is going to run the show? Who is going to make the final decisions about everything you do, every big thing you do, and every little incy-wincy thing that you do? Okay? So the divine soul finds its place in the brain, that are in the head. Mokai Mishkan Nefesh Elokis, the place of the godly soul, who b'moichin is in the brains, sheberoish, umisham is pashetes, and from there it spreads out l'kol ha'ivrim, just like the animal soul spreads out to all the limbs. So the godly soul also spreads out from the heart to affect all of the limbs. Page 138. V'gam b'leiv v'chol ha'yamoni, and it finds its place in the right side of the heart. So the animal soul finds its place in the left side of the heart that's filled with blood. Well, isn't the right side of the heart also filled with blood? Good question. Kamesha Koso, and the answer is no. Leiv chacham liyamine. The heart of a wise person is on the right. And what is there? The right side of the heart is a receiver for, go down to the third paragraph, page 138, for Avas Hashem. That's where you feel love of God. When a person feels love of God, that's working, that's in the right side of the heart. Karish b'shalahev is like a flaming fire, like when you come into the Machon the first time and they give you a Shabbos candle and you light a Shabbos candle and you never did it before, but you remember that your Baba used to do it, your grandmother, and maybe your mother used to do it too, and you would stand and watch her do it, and you're just filled with such a feeling of love for Hashem. Where is that? That's in the right side of your heart. Rivka, am I speaking to you? Yeah, we're on the same wavelength. Mislaheves, and like a flaming fire, it's in the right belev, maskilim, it's in the heart of people who the Tanya calls them maskilim. That is from the word seichel. Remember in chapter 3, we learned about the seichel. The seichel is the intellectual power in the brain. A person who uses it is called a maskil. And the thought in his brain is called the muskel, the thing that he thinks about. And people who are thinking like this are called maskilim. And so in the heart of maskilim, hamevinim, with their thought processes, they come to understand umisbainanim, and they meditate in their understanding, v'daitam, with the knowledge that they have acquired and which is in their brains. And what do they meditate on? They meditate on godliness, on the greatness of Hashem. And that's why we look up into the sky every morning before we come to class. To become aware of the greatness of Hashem and to think about it. And when we think about the greatness of Hashem, who creates the whole world, and he creates me, and he wants to have a relationship with me, and he asks me to do things which connect me with him. Imagine going to Buckingham Palace to have an interview with King Charles, and he says, "Oh, you learn in the Jewish Institute for Women in Crown Heights? How interesting! Do you have anything from? Do you have any papers or any books or anything from it you could show me?" And you show him. You have a relationship with him. He's talking to you. He's asking you to do things for him, and it's very meaningful for you. So that's how you begin to feel a sense of warmth in your heart, that you're having a relationship with Hashem. By looking at the greatness of the world that he is creating every single second, and he's entering a relationship with you by giving you things to do. And he meditates, second paragraph, page 139, second paragraph, meditates, B'dvarim ha'ma'aririm es ha'aba, and you think back, my name is Sarah, my name is Chana, my name is Rachel, my name is Leah, my name is Yochebed. You think about all the great late women who had the same name that you carried, and the great things that they did, the self-sacrifice they had for God and for Torah and for mitzvahs. And you think, maybe that's my lot too. Wow. And you feel a warmth in your heart. That's in the right side of your heart. And this causes a person, simchas levav, to feel a feeling of joy in his heart, the tiferes Hashem, at the beauty of the whole situation, that I have a relationship with Hashem. I'm able to communicate with Hashem by saying a blessing and by doing a mitzvah, to have a relationship with him, and I perceive in all this wonder of the creation, that this wonder is influencing my relationship with him. And he calls that becoming aware of the majesty of Hashem. I remember one time, Yud Shvat, a long time ago, people came from all over to honor the Rebbe. Shluchim came from all over, and they brought with them their big supporters. And there were congressmen and senators and influential businessmen and politicians. And the place was jam-packed. And I happened to have a place. I had friends who had helped me to secure a place where I could stand. And in came from England, where I was living at the time, my teacher. He's now the chief rabbi in Australia. He came in, and Rabbi Telsner. So where was he going to go? The place we were like sardines in there. I said, "Come here, stand by me." And he came in, and then the Rebbe came in the midst of all this. It was really glorious. It was glorious. You could see the control, the majesty. The Rebbe just looked like a king. And everybody there eyes were glued on the Rebbe. And you talk about the brain influencing your movements, he was just moving so majestically. And this rabbi Telsner, standing beside me, said, he exclaimed, "There's no doubt about it. We have a gorgeous Mashiach." Famous line. We have a gorgeous Mashiach. So when a person perceives that he's part of all this, you see, and he meditates, he thinks about this whole situation. Because his eyes, which are the source of his wisdom, that's where wisdom, your eyes represent your wisdom. There's like a beam of light that comes out of people's eyes, that comes from the brain. It's just depicted in cartoons. People give someone a look, a whammy, and if it's with love, it's very beautiful. Umistaklim bi'ikara b'mal demalka, and the person now thinking about the greatness of Hashem and the beauty, perceives the beauty of His majesty. His majesty, he's a king, so king has majesty. But Tiferes, the beauty, Gedulose, and the beauty of His greatness, the beauty of this whole creation. I mean, everything works, you know. The moon doesn't stop. The sun doesn't stop. It keeps going eternally in its cycles. Everything in the world wears out. The sun doesn't wear out. The moon doesn't wear out. The stars don't wear out, despite what they tell you. They don't wear out. There's an eternity in them. It's a different level of creation altogether. It's from a different sphere. We don't see where the sphere begins and where it ends because it says in Kabbalah, the spheres are transparent. You see right through them, but you could be looking into the heavens at the seventh sphere, the eighth sphere. But they're not visible what the spheres are, but the ancients understood how the heavens move in their spheres. So it says the wise man's eyes are in his head, meaning that that's where Chachma expresses itself. Chachma is the beginning of intellect. You know what Chachma is? Chachma, we discussed this in chapter 3. Chachma is like on the top of a big building. There's an electrical storm. So on the top of the building, you have what's called a lightning rod, a metal rod sticking up in the air. And the point of this rod is that when there's lightning, the lightning wants to get to the ground. It wants to get to the ground. It's missing a charge, a positive charge. It needs to neutralize this excessive negative charge by getting to the ground, which will stabilize it. So it's going to hit the highest thing it can find, which will be the building, which will be a disaster. So therefore, they put a metal pole on the top of the building, and the lightning strikes the metal pole instead of the building. It's called a lightning rod. Okay? So when Chachma, the power of intellect, comes into a person, where does it come first? It comes into the brain. Where in the brain? Into the Chachma in the brain. The intellectual power in the brain, and it's a flash of insight. And this flash then expresses itself, goes into Bina, which tries to grasp it, understand it, and analyze it. And that's what it says, that the eyes of a wise man are in his head. Meaning that the brain harbors the Chabad of his intellect, which is the Chachma, the flash of understanding, and Bina, which is grasping it, holding it, analyzing it, trying to understand it. When, with these powers of the intellect and the brain, mistaklim, the person will gaze on Yakara de Malka, on the glory and the beauty of our King, Hashem, the majesty of Hashem, who is the creator and the ruler of the whole world, the whole universe, from the smallest, from the little plants growing, and every single creature that you're going to examine has its most wondrous life cycle, the most amazing and wondrous life in every little thing, even down to a gnat or a mosquito, or even on the lower, more smaller than that, on the atomic level, the way things are created, it's just fantastic. And when a person thinks about this and perceives the beauty and the greatness of the one who could create all this, like I used to say to my children in the spring when we would walk to shul on a Shabbos morning, and we see the buds coming out on the tree, on a branch, and we'd count how many they are. And we'd watch how they unfold as the days went by, and how each bud had within it so many leaves, and each leaf was so beautifully, perfectly created, and how many buds were on this one branch, and how many branches were on the tree, and how many trees were on the streets, and how many streets are in the city. I would say to the children, could you do something like this? I said, no. Only Hashem can do something like this. This is meditating on the greatness of Hashem on a level even children can understand. And when a person will gaze with the Chachma Bina Das in his brain at the glory and the beauty of and the majesty of Hashem and his unfathomable, infinite, boundless greatness, then there will be inspired in the right side of his heart a flaming fire feeling of love and warmth and gratitude to be able to be part of this, to enter or to be in a relationship with our God. And this is something that we've inherited. Baruch Hashem, we're so grateful that we get it from our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our great-grandparents, who got it from Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah. This is where we come from. V'chein shar midas, this is the feeling of love and how it's generated in the right side of the heart. And similarly with other holy characteristics in our character, which are in the heart, in the right side of the heart, how they develop from Chachma, from the inspiration, and Bina and Das, Sheba Moichin, in the right side, in the brain. Okay? That's our first part of our shir today in chapter 9. We'll continue tomorrow. You see, we're moving a lot faster now because we've covered all these ideas before in great depth. We spent a lot of time, so now we can go very quickly. We'll see if we can do a chapter a week from now on. We can. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Thank you very much, Malka. We're going to see you tomorrow. Yes. Okay.
Tomorrow's the last day.
Lost day.
Yes. I lost some.
Where are you going to live after you get married?
Canada. Montreal.
Huh?
Montreal.
In Montreal. Oh.
Going to Montreal.
Really? Very nice community.
But I reckon we'll be in America.
Well, if you go back to Manchester for Sheva Brachos with your family and friends.
Oh, my family and friends are flying out here.
Oh, they're all coming here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm going to
Wonderful. Where will they all stay?
So my future mother-in-law sorted out an apartment, a huge apartment.
You rent an apartment?
Yes. Wow.
You are there.
Have a good day. Thank you, Rabbi Pape.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a good day.
It's so cute. I don't have any renovation, so it doesn't work. You don't have to from Manchester, just so you know, being from Manchester, but
I don't correct it. It's close enough. Only an hour, right?
I need a alliteration.
He'll think of it. Where are you from again? No, that doesn't work. He'll think of it. What's the next class? 15. It's 13. I think I can make coffee that time. No, I can't start right just next. Oh no. She has to go up. That please.
No, I'm sorry, I'm here, where was it to walk?